We smash one of these, we're like devouring.
Right, yeah, it's good to have a nice heat in your we're working on that. I mean, that's just really strong. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
And it's
Good, right.
cool.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah?
I was ready last night.
Now why I know that guy's name? I don't know.
You were ready? Okay, you're good. Hi everybody, welcome. We're anticipating a growing crowd here, so we're really looking for quality people that are going to attend, and we're glad you're all here. We came up with a new little workstation area, so if you have to bring your computer, feel free. Should have the early birds get to learn on that one. 1 Million Cups is a weekly educational program that showcases 2 startups and in communities around the country. So we're the 15th city and the first West Coast city that's offering this program. It's sponsored by the Kauffman Foundation, which is an entrepreneurship foundation that does a lot of great work all over America. And they're essentially trying to create an educational event that you can come to weekly around the country and learn from other startups and be able to go and present your startup around other cities too. The big pull to this event is not only peers helping, entrepreneurs helping their entrepreneurial peers, but also you'll be able to go out and network and find people that may be able to help you with resources around the country. So that's a great, I have a startup and I'm really looking forward to that and going around the country and pitching this and making my presentation and hoping to make connections there. So with that, we go through a pretty rapid pace. And but I do want to remind you that if you're tweeting, we need you to just follow that. We're at 1 Million Cup Sam Facebook address, and we're looking for startups that want to apply. We have the next 2 startups for next week, but we are always looking for startups that are looking to apply. This is all educational focused, not financial. So we're not here to hear your pitch for money, which is actually kind of relieving because a lot of pitch sessions are just that. So with that, I'd like to introduce Rob.
Sure.
Ready to go where you're
Well, I have the privilege, I'm Robert. I'm sorry. I'm Robert. I am one of the organizers, and I have the privilege of introducing GOTRIbal, Tanya, who is going to give her 6-minute presentation, and then there'll be a quick 20-minute question and answer, so fire away after she's done with her presentation. She is in the fitness space, which is solving a problem that I know I have personally, so I'm excited to hear more about the company, but that is finding partners to run with, exercise with, and generally stay healthy with. So, Tanya, welcome.
Thanks. Please hold your applause until the end. All right, so my name is Tanya Maslach, and I'm the founder of GOTRIbal. And to give you a story of how all this business actually got started, it was about 4 years ago, and I was sitting in my nice cush office in a Fortune 500 company. And I was thinking about why I was so tired that day, and it wasn't because I was working very hard. It was because I had worked out already that day, and I knew I would work out that night. And I thought, why am I doing this craziness of working out so much? And I remembered about 8 years prior, I was living in Hawaii, and I had been mentored by these 3 women to do like cycling, swimming, running, and all this stuff. And they taught me all these crazy quirks and things about all of those sports. And it was 8 years later now that I was thinking about this woman, and I thought, I want to pay forward some of the things that I've learned in these sports for other people, because I've grown professionally and personally. And so I went online and I looked for a community of other like-minded people. And what I found was there's like millions of people doing these sports, and there was no network that brought them all together in the spirit of kind of networking and sharing and doing these things together. There wasn't one community. So I went and tested a mini community in San Diego and found that there was huge interest. So I developed GOTRIbal as a community and a testing ground to find out who needed what. Basically a product market fit. That was my case scenario. Since then, I've been invited to speak at some national conferences on how you build communities in sport. I've been featured in industry-leading magazines like Women's Running and Triathlete Competitor to talk about this stuff. So that's a little bit about me. So what is GOTRIbal? So at its core, GOTRIbal is a mashup of three really big communities. It's the connections of Facebook, it's the reviews of Yelp, and it's the kind of the interests-based focused network that is Pinterest. And it's all of these things for women who aspire to lead active lifestyles. Now this is the problem. So Brooke is one of millions of people who is out in the world looking for other people to help them maintain an active lifestyle. What I've learned, and you likely if you've tried any kind of new activity ever, is that people don't consult their fitness app or their heart rate monitor or their watch or any number of other gadgets and sensors when they're on the couch and they're trying to get active, right? So what they'll do is they'll do what Brooke did, or they'll go to Facebook, or God forbid they use their phone for what it's actually made for. They'll pick up the phone and they'll call somebody and they'll look for that support or that motivation from an actual person, right? Well, that's time consuming because rarely do we find the exact person that can help us do what we want to do. So GOTRIbal has created the Active Buds app. We match up people based on their lifestyle, their fitness pursuits, their fitness levels, a whole bunch of other criteria that give them immediate access to active buds that are just like them. We allow them to find those people wherever they are, whenever they need them. Now here's some of the stats. This is a boring table about just how huge the active lifestyle community is. Two most important things about this table is that it's ginormous. So that's a very unprofessional term to say it's been growing double digits for the last 10 years across a whole bunch of categories, not just running, yoga, and cycling. But the second really big important thing about this table is that women are driving the growth. So interestingly enough, more women participate in these sports every year than men, and in fact, for men, the rate is dropping. So they're inversely related. This is the big thing for GOTRIbal, that 12.5 million of those women that are online 10 hours a month talking about their lifestyles, their health, their fitness related concerns, and looking for the same thing I was looking for 3.5 years ago. So how does it work? Basically, it's super easy. You download the Active Buds app, you take a 12-question survey, and immediately on your phone, you're delivered these Active Buds. Again, they're matched to your interests, your fitness pursuit, your fitness ability. We pay careful attention to where you are, so that in fact, if you're interested in someone nearby, you can always access someone who's near you as well. Here are some of our previous partners. What I mean by that are advertising partners, sponsor partners, where our content has appeared. And here's some of our competitors at the top. These are what I would call indirect competitors, and I say that because they're in the same space, so you know, you can measure how many miles you ran or how many calories you ate, or if your team is going to race against someone else. We all know Facebook and Pinterest, but none of these actually curate the connections so that you have access to people that are just like you, and that you can reach out to them whenever you need them, wherever you are. So my ask. My ask is for GOTRIbal engineers. We've developed the, as you see, we developed the UX. We have the actual designs for the app ready to go. We have the spec. We just need the engineers to help us develop it. Here are some just quick shots of what that actual app looks like. People can create tribes, give badges for reviews. Here's an activity feed, geolocation swiping across the top, so no matter where your phone is, we'll be able to feed you information about where those active buds are. That's it. Thank you. Questions? Any questions? Doug?
What's your biggest hurdle right now?
Finding talent.
Like
Yeah,
engineers,
it
or
is.
across the
Yeah,
board?
it's finding talent. Yeah, because the app's specs are very specific in terms of what it needs to do, and it's hard to find engineers that understand how to build that for scale.
So specifically on the IT side.
Mhm. Yep. We already have distribution partners ready to take this and distribute it to their consumers, which gives us an audience of about 15 million right away. So finding ways to distribute this is not the issue. So our go-to-market strategy is ready to rock. It's just building the thing.
How's your, as far as monetizing it, is it something people subscribe to? Is it purely advertising
Yep,
based?
so good question. It's actually both. So they will have access to Active Buds because we want them to be able to use it and play with it. It will be subscription for half a year and annually. And where the integrated brand marketing comes in is we already have, as I saw, we have brands that are coming in, they want access to this group, but we don't want to advertise to them. We want to reward them with gifts that they need. So as you imagine, doing a lot of these sports is expensive. But these brands have things that they want you to try. So we have a way to build that into the app so that when people are doing things within the app, they're actually rewarded with, shoes, shorts, bikes, trips to an event, memberships to gyms, those kinds of things. Yes?
Is it specific for women only?
No, the app itself actually is for men and women. So our target audience for the community is women, but women or men will have access to the app, and you can choose who you'd like Active Buds to be. So they can be men, women, or both. Yeah,
Have you talked to Active at all?
I have. They know me well. Yeah, thank you. Any other questions? Yeah.
Have you, I'm thinking of your engineering issue, have you
Yep.
gone on DICE?
I haven't tried DICE yet.
I haven't either, I just
Yep.
know that
It
it
is-
keeps popping into my email box.
It's a good spot. The secondary kind of issue with that is if we found talent, we'd have to pay for it. So right now my whole role right now is fundraising. Yeah. We have 3, but we're, can't pay them yet. Yeah.
Have you thought about partnering with gyms that are, signing up members, and this would basically be a way to link 2 different members that are coming to a gym together so that they're actually retaining the members longer, and actually, the January cycle when they all join is trying to get them to actually start working out together, because it
Yes.
really is a great one.
That's a great channel for distribution, and gyms is one of our list of how do we get the app out there, because it absolutely does benefit the gyms to have something to give the person who's like, I'm here by myself and I don't know who else I can kind of work out with. So they are a distribution channel for us.
On that topic, actually, there's a group called FitMove, which is just starting out in town.
Okay.
One guy built the active architecture, the other guy came from Groupon, which I don't know if that's impressive or not. It's not in sales, I was like, oh. But yeah, they're in town, they're kind of doing that. The Pinterest side is discovery, correct? It's a new
Yeah.
hot thing.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to link people up and discover like-minded folks that they're looking for activities. So it's very similar.
Yes,
I think you should keep an eye out.
I will.
They're very well
Thanks.
funded.
Yeah, okay. Good to know, Doug. Thanks. Yeah, that's good to know.
So if someone's traveling, they can find someone.
Right away. So it just appears right at the top of your app. So you leave here, you land in Chicago, you've got 3 hours before you need to go back to the hotel and lay out, and you want to do like a 10K trail run or something. The app notifies you of those people that are in the app that are Active Buds. They appear on the screen. All you have to do is swipe. We call it the ticker, the Active Buds ticker, because it appears right at the top of the screen.
You mentioned when we were talking on the phone briefly about the kind of the security issues.
Yes.
So if I fly into Chicago, how do I know that this
Yeah.
person is safe?
So that's a really important issue for us, and the way that we do that is we use kind of the mechanism that Yelp uses for their reviews for restaurants and bars and that kind of thing. We use the power of the community to measure the validity of an individual within it. So we call them badges, but they're basically a process by which if I download the app, until I get at least a certain number of badges, that if you land in Chicago and you see, well, Tanya has 1 badge, but Doug has 3, that's a certain measure of, well, there's so many other people in the community that have validated that he is Doug, and he's a better guy. So I think I'm gonna go run with Doug because he's not gonna be an axe murderer. We're giving that power to the community outside of the one that we have to do on the front end when they come in. Yeah, 2 questions, or
Uh,
1?
Yeah, so you limit your user to only app users, or you can also have a website to use?
We do have the website, so we have the community that's been active for 3 years now. They're in 25 countries, and so we have that site, and there are members there, but this process will only be available on the mobile phone. And after we launch it, it will be only available to subscribers. You don't have to belong to both.
So the discovery aspects also only available on mobile?
This level of discovery, this curation happens on mobile. Yeah. Did you have a question or no?
You hit it on part of the reviews.
Okay.
What's the fee for the subscription for the 6 month and year?
We're batting around a couple of things right now, so I
Sure.
just don't want to say. A lot of it's going to be, time will tell when the user base grows. But if you look out into the market, you'll see, you know, gym memberships and things like running clubs. Those are kind of the nearest things in terms of an offline experience. And those things run, I mean, you know, a gym membership could be $30 to $200 a month. And running clubs a year are $25 to $100 a year. So we took a look at all of that to figure out what's happening in those and how are we taking it up a notch and reducing some of the issues people are having with those things and making it better. And that's kind of the